Welcome to our first year information session for international students here at Torrens University. A very warm welcome to everyone that is joining us today here in Australia. Good afternoon to everyone. And if you are connecting from other countries, please let us know in the chat box where are you connecting from. Today, reporting from Australia, a very warm summery day today. So yeah, we would like to know just where are you guys connecting from and this session today. We're very happy and excited to have you all here and to share all of the amazing information that we have prepared for all of you. In today's session, we're going to be talking about, everything you need to know to, start your journey at Torrens University, or whether you are thinking in coming to Australia to do your studies, or if you are in Australia and are thinking in joining us. So we're going to be providing some information to all of you. We're going to be giving some minutes for more students to connect. So hello, everyone from Russia, Philippines, Nigeria, Mongolia, USA, and Nepal. Thank you so much for sharing those greetings, and from Mauritius as well. So it's really nice to see you all here today. So in the room, I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. So in our agenda for today, we're going to be having two presentations, and after that, we're going to have a Q&A session where you will be able to, share all of your questions and comments on that. And also, meanwhile we're doing the presentation, please feel free to leave, those comments and those questions. We have an amazing backstage team that is ready to help with all of the inquiries for all of you. So yeah, people here from Spain, hola for the people in Spain. And yeah, it's really nice to have you all from Turkey and Kenya as well. That's very good. So so I would like to start the session introducing our amazing guest speakers today. So today here in the room we have Disha Kaput. So Disha is the accommodation specialist and key account manager for Amber Student Accommodation, one of our partners here in Australia, and she's going to be sharing with us some information about how to find the perfect home away from home. So welcome, Disha, to the session, and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Laura. Hi, everyone. Firstly, a warm welcome to everyone here, and congratulations to everyone who's got admission in Torrens. And of course, all the best to everyone who's looking forward to it for the next year.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also here in the room with us is Micaela Barberi. So Micaela is our Campus Life coordinator in our Ultimus campus in Sydney. So Micaela will be sharing with us a little bit of information about how is it the life experience and the support that we offer to all students in Australia. So Micaela, welcome, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for the introduction, and welcome everyone. I can't wait to share everything that I have prepared to share with you, so you can be prepared when you come to Australia. And for those that are already here in Australia, just some little extra tips. So yeah,
that's great. Exciting. Thank you so much, Micaela. And myself, I'm Laura Castro, and I am part of the international sales team here at Torrens University. I'm based in Adelaide in South Australia. So yeah, thank you so much again for joining. A little bit of reminding for those students, for all of you that are here in Australia, tomorrow we're going to have our open day, an amazing opportunity in our Melbourne and also in our Sydney campus to connect, with your trainers, with your teacher, and to connect face-to-face to all of us, and to, for us, giving you the opportunity to know about how we uni at Torrens University. So for those of you that are already in Australia and would like to come to our campus and chat with us and get to know more about us, please welcome. So the session will be in our Melbourne campus and also in our Sydney campus from 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. So we're going to be waiting for all of you over there. So yeah, let's gonna start now, Disha. So I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Remembering, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat box, and we're gonna be going through them. So Disha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laura. I already see we have so many participants who've already joined. I'm quickly going to share my screen and you can just let me know when you see it. Yes, I think you can see my screen, right, Laura?
Yes, yes, yes. We can see your screen. Perfect. Yes.
Perfect. So, hi guys, again, a very warm welcome. And I think this is a lovely opportunity for all of you all here. Again, the best part is we have people from all nationalities here. So it's always lovely to connect with everyone. Today, we're just going to give you a briefing about what student accommodations are and how Amber Student plays a very important role in helping a student get their accommodation. I believe a lot of you who have already got your admission to your university must have come across our platform. Before we could go into more detail, I would love to let you know about what Amber Student is. As you can see, we're the leading global marketplace for student accommodation, where we are a student platform that not only caters to students from a particular place, but also make sure we have accommodations spread out all across. As of now, we cater to the UK, US, Australia, Ireland, and a very good news, we've just expanded to Europe as well. So yeah, we want to make sure that students can get their accommodation in their most desired locations, and we're here to help them. Coming to what PBSAs are. So a PBSA is a purpose-built student accommodation where we started with this idea to make sure that our entire ideology is a home away from home for our students. I think this is something that is really important for a student who is stepping out from their home country or their home city to a new place where they have to be at their comfort. So it's not only about convenience here, it's also about comfort where, well, Amber student steps in there. So a few things that where we believe that we stand out as a PBSA in comparison to a non-PBSA, which would be a private property that is owned by a landlord, right? Because I'm sure all of you are aware that when you all were browsing and checking for options, I'm sure you all must come across a lot of private properties as well. So here is the major difference between us and a private accommodation, where the most important thing is all our accommodations are very close to your campuses. That is in Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, and in Sydney. We have our accommodations that are as good as walking distance and very commutable by the tram and by the tube, located just 15 to 20 minutes in a walking distance from your university. This again is something that you may not get at a private accommodation because again, it comes with a convenience. What happens is that accommodations that are further away from the university tend to be a little more cheaper. But again, we want to make sure that you don't indulge in unnecessary travel expenses and, of course, waste your time. So it's going to be really important that your accommodation is very close to your campus as a student, right? Coming to the second point where we talk about amenities and facilities, we believe that it's not just academics that a student comes for, it's also recreation with that. Well, that's where Amber Student steps in with their study blocks, where we don't only have something as basic as a study lounge or a communal area, but we also have a lot of recreation facilities like a gym, a cinema, a study room. You have get-togethers that you can organize yourself. We have games rooms and, of course, a laundry facility where you don't really need to step out of your comfort for these basic necessities. Coming to a private accommodation, this is something that you may not get, knowing that it is privately owned by an owner, by a landlord. So this is something that they don't really cater to because it's not just students that are staying at these blocks. It is also a lot of non-students, working professionals, right? The most important thing also is utilities because I think everyone, all of us here, when we are staying in our house or accommodation, we end up paying bills separately. That is water, electricity, heating, Wi-Fi. We've got you covered here as well, because at these student blocks, we have all these utilities included in your rent. Because we believe that it's really important that a student has this accessibility where he doesn't need to take that headache of going and paying his bills monthly separately. So, well, we have all of these included in your weekly rent. And of course, there is no limitation as such to how much of your internet or Wi-Fi you're using, because it's a high-speed Wi-Fi at all of our properties that you have access to as a student. And again, this is something that we all are aware of, that at a landlord's property, we may not get that facility because you end up paying your rent on a monthly basis with your bills and utilities separate. So again, that's a very important part of what we consider as our USP here at student accommodations. Um, when we talk about intakes as well, we don't have students just coming in for a full year academic intake. We also have students who take shorter courses, or you want to come in for a summer stay, right? This is something that PBSAs can help you with, because if you come into us today and tell us that, you know what, my course is going to be starting in February, or I have an intake in March, we do have accommodations for you for a shorter contract as well, where we want to make sure that you book your accommodation at your own flexibility. Well, this is again something that we may not get at another accommodation because we stick to fixed term contracts over there. So again, we've got you covered there as well. Coming back to my most important point here, what I spoke about recreation, it's not about academics only. It's also about how students are interlinked with each other. It's also about networking, building your portfolio, connecting with a lot of people, and understanding how people are, and of course, indulging in a lot of activities. So for that, we've got you covered with our social events, which happen on a weekly basis. And as far as I know, Australia is well known for its arts and culture and a lot of events that take place. So when we have this at your student accommodation at your comfort, which takes place on a weekly basis, and you just need to go to any property and check it out, and there'd be someone to help you with it. Uh, because we just spoke about how a public accommodation, we've just got one landlord there. They may not have so many, they may not be that staffed up to help you with social events. So that is something where we definitely would be able to help you. I think it's very important as a student, maybe not in the latter years of your course, but in the first year of course, it's really important that you as a student have a 24/7 support system, not just by your booking agent, that is Amber, but also with the staff present there. So the best part about our accommodations is that we have a 24/7 security and staff that is there to help you with all your queries and with all your needs. Something as basic as you want to just switch a room, or you want to just make sure that something your parcel is kept, or something as basic as that. Day-to-day examples. There would be a 24/7 reception who's going to be there to help you. And just God forbid you're not able to get in touch with them, you have us, you have Amber Student, your booking agent, who will always be there to help you and support you with any kind of issues that you have. Because we're not that staffed up at these private accommodations, that's something that you would miss out on there. And the most important thing, the last but the most important thing, of course, is security, where I think more than you, it's going to be your parents that are concerned about you back home. It's going to be your family. It's also going to be something that you have within you, that, you know what, I'm going to a new place, I'm going to a new city. I need to be safe. Well, at student blocks, at student accommodations, you have a 24-hour security available for you, and CCTV cameras, of course, to make sure that you are taken care of. The manager will always make sure you've come in safe, any of your queries are addressed, and of course, you're taken care of. right? So let's quickly just go through. We've just prepared a very basic slide here for you to let you know about the basic cost of living in Australia. I'm sure most of you would know about what day-to-day costs would be, but briefing you a bit about what accommodation costs would be here. When we talk about Melbourne, we have accommodations ranging from $1,600 to $3,000. Sydney, of course, as we all know, is very expensive, but again, you have accommodations to that level as well. You've got the best accommodations, very well equipped, and of course, they're luxurious, and they're ranging from $3,500 to $5,200. When we come to Brisbane, again, we have a management that is about $1,000 to $1,600. That is, it's called Uni Lodge, the most affordable options. And I'll brief you a little more about that when we talk about accommodations. And Canberra, Perth, and Adelaide as follows, ranging in the same range, coming up to around $2,000. Of course, we may help you with accommodations that are cheaper as well here, right? So when we talk about student accommodations, there are different types of rooms and different types of sharing rooms that you have access to, right? So let's quickly talk about the room types. We have private rooms because, of course, students want to make sure they have their privacy. So a private room is basically when you have your own room, you're not sharing it with someone. And this is something that you get at a studio and an ensuite. A twin share won't have a private, it won't be a private room because you'd be sharing it with someone. And of course, we have a private washroom, which comes with an ensuite. A non-ensuite, we won't have a private washroom available. But of course, I'm sure it's not really important for some students because these accommodations come at a great price. Studios are a private room, private washroom, and a private kitchen as well to your comfort because we have some students, we've come across some students who want to make sure that they have the entire place to themselves. We may have some great affordable options for studios as well. And the best thing is that in all these room types, you have access to all the property amenities, which makes it a lot more easier for you because you are not restricted to use any kind of communal lounges or to maneuver over the properties. So there is no such issue there, right? And a detail on these room types is what you can clearly get on the Amber Student website, where you have all the details mentioned there, and just reach out to our accommodation expert. They'd be helping you if you have any further queries there, right? And quickly coming to the property suggestions that we have for you, right? As we all know, Brisbane is known for its breathtaking beaches and its exceptional dining experiences. We want to make sure our accommodations are as good, right? So we have one of our top properties that we have for shared rooms, private rooms, and for studios, which is Scape Maryville. Again, what happens with Scape? I'll just give you a quick briefing about this management because different managements have different USPs, right? So with Scape, the good thing is that you don't have to pay a deposit to book your room, where in most accommodations, a deposit is compulsory. Well, for Scape, you don't have to pay a deposit. You just pay an advance rent and you can move in. And this rent, of course, will be deducted from your future rent. So it makes it a lot more easier for you as a student to manage those expenses. Coming to Unilodge Hurston, Unilodge is one of our most affordable accommodations for a student, where we also, at your luxury and comfort, you're paying a good price. And I think one of the most important thing or the most attractive thing about this accommodation would be the fact that they have these lovely gourmet kitchens and lovely communal spaces where you can not only indulge in conversations and mingle with people from your accommodation, but also bring in your friends from the outside, from your university, and make sure you're having a good time, right? So it gets really, really comfortable for you. And again, USB, most affordable option, right? Quickly talking about student one properties as well. If you check our website, we have about 2 to 3 student one properties for you in Brisbane, where the most important thing about this management would be that we have flexible move-in dates here, where, of course, your contract terms would be constricted. It would be, say, up to a 20 to 40-week contract, depending on what you require. But if you tell me that, Disha, I want to book my accommodation and I am not sure when I'm coming, but I wanted to be flexible, we can do that for you. So yeah, we've got flexible move-in dates here. And as you can see, there is a basic difference in the pricing in a shared room, a private room, and a studio. Of course, a studio would be something between $400 to $600 because, well, you have your private space, you've got your private washroom, you've got your private kitchen. And of course, all bills included here, right? Quickly coming to Melbourne again, one of the most important place cities in Australia and known for its nightlife, known for its lovely beaches, known for the kind of experiences students have there. We have some lovely properties here for you in Melbourne, where we've got Uni Lodge again. We've got Scape properties. We've got studios at Scape Peel. And well, we've got a property called Scape Berkeley 1 and 2, where the most important thing that Scape Berkeley provides us with is that they don't only have some exceptional social events, but they also have internship opportunities, which I think is something that's really important for you as a student because well, I'm sure in latter of this session, there would be someone briefing you about that. But an internship, not only in a field outside, but if you get an opportunity to do an internship in your accommodation, be an ambassador for them, or maybe support them with staffing, or be it HR, they have these options available for you. So you can just check out their website and they'd be here to help you with such opportunities and also in your first year. So you have that luxury to yourself. We have ensuite rooms available at Uni Lodge Properties, and we have Campus Melbourne. Again, we have Hugo as one of our very important managements that, again, has supported us for all our locations. We are big with Hugo in UK. In UK, we've got a lovely response. And again, Australia is warming up to us as well in Hugo. So you definitely have to look at this property as well, right? And again, what happens is most of our properties in Melbourne are known for their exceptional security as well. Like we spoke how important it is, I think you'd be taken care of and how. You just need to see that, right? Quickly coming to the property suggestions we have for you in Adelaide. We've got twin rooms as well because here this again, twin rooms is available everywhere, but if you're traveling with a friend or if you're traveling with a sibling, it gets a lot more easy on you and a lot more economical for you to stay with someone, split the costs, and of course, be at your own comfort. So we've got you covered in Adelaide with these rooms in some of our properties, that is Y Suites. We have Scape Adelaide again, and we have a property called Switch. Now, Switch again is known for its exceptional culture and exceptional amenities that they have, because the good thing is now laundry facilities and the gym is something that's charged in some of our properties, right? We won't be able to say that laundry is free of cost, but I can definitely tell you that at this property, you have your laundry free of cost. It's not chargeable. And for all you fitness enthusiasts there, we've got free gym classes for you at this property. So again, any specific requirements, anything that you are interested in, you can just reach out to Amber Student and tell them your preferences, and we'd have our sales agents helping you with the best suited accommodation for you, right? Like Switch Adelaide and Adelaide in Adelaide, right? Coming to studios, we have Scape again, we've got Switch again, and Uni Lodge again. As you see, we have Uni Lodge and Scape placed everywhere because of the kind of properties they have, right? And you're going to be comfortable with Hugo. The most important thing is that they help you with internships as well, and in different fields. They would also help you with counseling and help you in the kind of internship you're looking for, right? So there's also a very important thing here that students also look out for rewards and cashbacks, right? I'm sure. So the good thing is with Hugo, you have cashbacks that they offer you on a booking with different room types. So this is something that you really, really need to check out. and I'm sure you'd find your best room here, right? Um, the last location that we're looking at is Sydney. Now, in Sydney, again, we have the same management, so I won't really read out the property names for you. As you can see, prices, of course, are a little competitive in comparison to the other ones, but that's also because of the kind of amenities you have here, right? We have one of our top properties here called UME Properties, where the good thing is you don't only, this only doesn't allow students, it also allows working professionals, it also allows couples. If we've got couples as students, you can stay there as well, right? The good thing is also that this is really commutable by public transport. You'd see UME properties located close to your train stations, and it's really commutable even to your universities. We also have luxurious study rooms. We have a very well built infrastructure, and of course, the interiors are breathtaking. So you really, really need to look at the pictures of these properties. And we have Belong properties available in shared apartments. You see, we've got Belong Mascot, Waterloo, and we have swimming pools and sauna rooms available here. So this is something that helps this property stand out from the others. Uh, the price is worth it here because you've got free access to these facilities. So I believe that you just need to hop onto Amber Students' website. You need to have a look at these properties, and you're going to get someone to help you with this. Quickly coming to the perks, benefits, and what Amber Student has to offer. I'm sure all of you must have, whoever has gone to Amber Students' website must have come across something known as Amber Plus. So what is Amber Plus? Amber Plus is going to help you get a lot of discounts and benefits with service providers, something as basic as your flight tickets. We have food and lifestyle vouchers. We have a tie-up with transport systems there. We have a tie-up with the service providers for eSIMs there. So once you just go to Amber Students' website and click on Amber Plus, you'd get a wide range of brands that we work with, where as a first year student, I believe it's really, really important for you to make use of such benefits because it's going to last you for the next 2 to 3 years, and it's going to be really, really helpful. So just hop onto Amber Plus and you'd get a lot of information there. Quickly running through what we spoke about internships. Now, Amber Ambassador is something that we came up with to make sure that you as students in the first year can work as Amber Ambassadors. You can refer students, help gain cashbacks. You can get $50 cashbacks straight to your account by just referring students who want a book. And of course, you can continue to have this even when you're studying or even when you're doing another job. So this is as good as working like 10 to 15 minutes a day or just referring people, and of course, getting something as basic as $50 straight into your account, right? Ask Amber is something that we started with recently, and uh, we have a we have an exceptional set of people who would be there to help you with something as basic as your visa queries, what documents you need, what kind of exams you should take to apply to a certain university. They would help you with how to commute internally. They would help you with every single need of yours. So Ask Amber is one of the most important and beneficial platforms, as per me, right now for our students, especially our first year students who are looking to move to a new place, right? I think a lot of students throughout my journey have also come up to me asking me whether we have scholarship programs. So that is again something what Amber Student is here to help you with, where I think this is something which is going to be important for students who are going to be enrolling next year. So we have Amber Scholarship programs where you just go to our website, read about the kind of requirements. Of course, you would have to submit a summary as to where you're going, what you're doing, and why you think you are good for the scholarship. And we've got you covered with a scholarship as well, right? And coming back to private accommodation, just quickly going back to accommodations that are owned by landlords, what happens is there is a lot of documentation involved, guys, right? At Amber Student, we want to make sure you have a very easy and smooth booking process, right? That's where we got you covered with a 3-step booking process, right? You just reach out to the website, you just select your property, place your inquiry, fill a form, and our sales agent would reach out to you. And the most important thing is that you don't really need any extra documents. You just need your passport, you need your visa, and you need your university acceptance letter. And there, we've got you. We're going to help you get the best accommodation that you need, right? So I hope that this was really insightful, and any more information that you need, we're right here. Our Amber Student website is always available for you. We have a 24/7 customer support available as well, who is going to be there for you and reach out to you in the next 30 seconds of reaching out. So, well, hop onto our website and reach out to Amber, because we're going to help you find your home away from home really, really soon. Thank you so much, guys. And I am going to pass it on to our next speaker. And any questions, please reach out in the Q&A section. We'll be there to answer you.
Thank you so much, Deisha, for such an amazing presentation. It is great to see all of the options for our students, and also in different cities, as well as Torrens University, that we have different campuses all around Australia. So that's very good, really good options. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now we're going to be passing over the mic to Michaela. So Michaela, please.
Thank you, Laura. Let me just share my screen. And yeah. There we go. Well, as for those who were not at the beginning of the session, let me introduce myself again. My name is Michaela, and I'm the Campus Life Coordinator at Ultimo Campus, which is in Sydney. So you might be wondering, what is a Campus Life Coordinator? What do we do? So basically, we can help you getting started at Torrens. We can help you adjusting to life in Australia, understanding your student visa conditions and your course requirements. And we also host activities and some cultural events on campus. Now, this is a list of the most important things you cannot forget when coming to Australia, such as documents, have your accommodation ready, and others. So you could take a screenshot or a photo of this slide if you like. It is compulsory for new students to attend orientation. So make sure you book a flight at least 2 weeks before your course starts. I saw a couple of questions on the chat already about that. Why is their orientation so important? You actually get a lot out of it. You get to meet your peers, those that are going to be in the class with you. You get an introduction to your learning platform. You get to meet your academics. You'll get your student ID card. You get to meet the SRC and societies. You get food as well, and you get all the tools that students need to prepare for the first trimester. Okay, so here we have a few tips on money exchange that I put together. So I always recommend students to have already some Australian currency in your home country before coming to Australia. For some expenses that might come up, your car might not work the first couple of days, the first week. You might have to pay for a taxi, or you might have to charge your transport card. I will suggest do not exchange on the airport as soon as you arrive in Australia, because that's usually the most expensive rate. And also, you could look for money exchange stores and compare the rates and see which one gives you a better rate. Okay. Okay, so once you finally arrive in Australia, now you need to have your accommodation address ready, and here are some of the transfer options from the airport to your accommodation in the different cities. So you see that, for example, in Sydney, you have the train, public buses, you can catch a bus. Melbourne has free courtesy buses. You also have, most cities you have more or less the same options. There's also a website there that where you can check the taxi fare. So once you already have your accommodation details ready. Okay. Okay, once you have settled in your accommodation, there are two major things you need to organize. And these are, you need to create a bank account. The most popular banks in Australia are Commonwealth, NAB, ANC, and Westpac. And some of the documents you need to get a bank account will be your confirmation of enrollment, your letter of offer, your passport. You may need a tax file number, which you can get in that website. So the tax file number, it's the number that you will require if you wish to work while you are in Australia. So it's a number you will give to your employer essentially for them to register yourself in the system and to get paid, basically. And then the second one is applying for an Australian mobile number. You can choose your provider. Some of the most popular ones are Vodafone, Optus, Telstra. You can always ask for a student plan, which are always like cheaper plans. So they have some cheaper options for students. And as well, prepare the documents that they might ask. So these will probably be your passport, your visa, your confirmation of enrollment, your residential address, and your bank account details. Okay. For most of you, it will be brand new living in Australia. And that's why we have information around everything you need to know about living in Australia. For example, public transport, accommodation, how to get a tax file number, which I mentioned before, if you want to work, and more information on our Living in Australia page on the Student Hub. By simply typing Torrens Student Hub on your Explorer of preference, you'll be able to find the website. And this is under the new student tab, which you can see there in that screenshot. And we update this regularly, so all the information is always up to date. So these websites are like really informative, and I really suggest for you to go through them. And now we have 6 campuses in Australia. So we have Ultimo campus in Sydney, which is where I'm based, basically. Here we have only design and creative technology courses. So that's the vertical that we have in this campus. Then we have the Surrey Hill campus in Sydney as well, which they have the health, business, and hospitality vertical. We have the Melbourne campus, which have all the verticals available. And Brisbane, same thing. They have all verticals available. And same thing for Adelaide campus in South Australia. And then we have the Lura campus which is based in Blue Mountains, and they have the hospitality courses. Now, we are getting to the fun part. We have lots of free activities and events on offer for you to have fun and make new friends. So you can check the events that are happening during the trimester on the student community and events and activities pages on the Student Hub, and also don't forget to follow your campus SRC, which is the Student Representative Council, on their social accounts, because they also post events and information as well. So this is a quick screenshot of the Ultimo SRC Instagram account. So you can quickly see in there that they have they posted in the past some events that they were holding last trimester. So they had a student film screening. There was a karaoke night that the Music Society was actually having in Sydney. An international potluck lunch. So yeah, and this is Instagram for the Surrey Hills SRC, where you can see that they also post events and things that are happening throughout trimester. So I cannot recommend enough to follow them on their socials. Here we can see some snaps of only some of the events that we have in the previous trimester. Yeah, so we had some crafty workshops and professional portrait sessions where the students will have their picture taken for LinkedIn or their portfolios. So yeah, that was fun. Okay. So you will be here for a while and might need health services. For this reason, it's mandatory for international students to have and maintain their overseas student health cover throughout your stay. For general health advice, you can see a GP, which is a general practitioner, and they treat common medical conditions and they can refer you to a specialist if it's needed. Again, contact your provider or check your policy for details on your insurance cover. Being an international student and living abroad can be stressful, and many of our students experience homesickness or culture shock. So I was an international student myself as well. And yeah, so it's totally normal to, have that culture shock. You arrive in Australia, you're speaking a different language for many of you. You're far from your friends and family. You're far from what you've known basically your whole life. So it's totally normal. It happens to everyone. Yeah, so that's why we have that line that you can see there in the slide in the orange number, the 1300 line. And that's a line that if at any time you feel stressed or anxious or you need to talk to someone, please utilize that line, which is the wellbeing support line. Or you could also book a session with the university counselor, which is free and confidential. Okay. Yeah, there's always support on campus. Yeah, if you ever need someone to talk to, there's always that element of support at Torrens University. Now we are moving on to a very important part of this session, which are the student visa conditions. International students must meet the visa requirements to maintain their enrollment with Torrens. And it is the visa condition that students need to provide the university with the residential address within 7 business days of moving. So once you get in Australia, you have about a week time to update your residential address with the university, which you can easily do that on the student portal. There's a quick screenshot in here. But yeah, it's very easy. It's also, there's instructions on that on the student hub. You can also reach out to the student services team, update the information with them. You can just come to your campus and be like, hey, can I give you my residential address? I want to update that. So that's easy. International students must also maintain a full-time load throughout the year, throughout their studies. So for most students, these equals 8 subjects per year and no more than 3 subjects per trimester. You also have to study 2/3 of your studies on campus. And yeah, that's on the study load. International students must also meet and maintain the academic progression requirements of your course. So generally, that means that you need to pass at least half of your subjects each trimester. And like it says there, do not forget to pay your tuition fees on time. The key dates are also on the student hub. And you have to maintain your overseas student health cover. Very important. Don't forget about that one. And now let's have a look at your work rights as a student visa holder. So students on a student visa can only work a maximum of 24 hours per week during the trimester. No restrictions apply to work hours during break time. So that's really up to you. You manage how many hours you want to work. during this study break yourself. Okay. And we are getting towards the end. Yeah, so Torrens is big on support for students. So you have access to a number of support services, including student support advisors, which is, there for general student support. Student counselors, like I mentioned, you can book sessions with them through the Student Hub, which are free and confidential counseling support. You have the Success Coaches team, which is a team of qualified professionals that will give you tips on how to be successful the first year of your degree. You also have the Career and Industry Services, which they have a platform which is called Careers Connect, and it's a platform that connects students with industry, essentially. So let's say you are a photography student and you want to find like some jobs in photography. So in that platform, there's going to be like listed jobs that you can apply. That goes usually towards, you can start usually using this platform on the second year, mostly of your degree. I mean, you can start using it in the first year of your degree. It's just that, usually they want some experience. So at least, or not some experience, but some knowledge. So at least if you have the first year of your degree, industry, you start to get more interested in the students. We also have the digital learning team, which will provide you support on with your learning portal. And then as well, we have the accessibility advisor. And yeah, that's all for me, really. Now, did anyone have any questions? I think I probably just look at the chat now.
Hi, Michaela. Thank you so much for that presentation. It's really nice to see, all of the support and the great activities that we have for students, because it's not only about academics, but also a life experience in Australia. And that's very good to get to know about. So I can see in the chat that we have got some questions related our orientation that is coming up. So we would like just to clarify for those students that are in Australia and are holding your visa, you are required to attend the orientation session face-to-face. So the orientations will be on the 15th or the 16th of February, depending on the faculty of your courses. So you will be receiving very soon, an email with all of the information. And also here in the chat box, we're going to be putting our Student Hub link where you can see all of the information regarding this. So remember, for all of you that are in Australia or will be in Australia very soon, you have to attend to our orientation sessions face-to-face on the 15th and 16th of February coming up. For those of you that are not in Australia, but are progressing in your studies, so then you can attend online and you will receive a separate information regarding the online session for orientation.
Is it okay, Laura, actually, if I pop in the chat the link to the Student Hub to enroll for orientation?
Yes.
I'll do that. So you can all see that link. I just put it in the chat. So you'll see that you have to register for orientation, and based on your studies, based on what you're studying, the date might vary. So it's not the same date for those studying design and those studying business. That's why we cannot give you a specific date right now. There's also a question that I can see that it's saying, what will happen if we exceed the working hours? I think that's the question. So I'll answer that right now. So you have to, these are just visa conditions. Student visa conditions. So if you don't abide those conditions, that's a breach of your visa, and you might have some issues with immigration. Okay. Yeah,
that's very important. I have a question here that I'm seeing, and it says like, hey, can we change campus after a visa arrival in Australia? So yes, guys, you guys can change the campus, but also reach out to, into our campus student services just to make some questions, because there are some dates that we must follow. So the answer is yes, you're able to change your campus, but also you have to follow the dates on the census date. So before census date, students can change campus, and then you will receive, some information and some forms and documents that you must fill up in doing so. So always come to the campus and then talk to our student services, and they will be there to help you with all of those changes. Okay, I also have some questions regarding the offers or regarding the clearance of GTE. So in that point, it's very important to mention that each case is completely different. So how our admissions teams work, it's pretty much case by case. In some cases, we will have assessment on documents, like in a couple of weeks. In some other cases, we may take a little bit more of time, depending on everything that we have submitted. So pretty much that's the reason why it may vary between case to case. So our suggestion, guys, is always referring to your agent and be in contact with your agent, and we will gonna be providing an update with them. Also, I think in the chat before we share some emails where you can contact us, depending of if you have already if you're already a current student, or if you would like to apply. I'm just gonna put them in here. So please feel free to reach out to us in those emails, and then we will be able to provide more insights. But always, 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 let's be in contact with our agents, because that's normally our communication of channel to use with our agents. Okay. Okay, do we have any other question around? Do we have any other question regarding accommodation? We have the Amber students team here, and they will be happy to, answer all of those questions regarding accommodation.
I see a question, Laura, as well on the chat about when are students able to select your subjects, to pick subjects online. So like I mentioned before, as an international student, you have to do two-thirds of your subjects per trimester face-to-face. Because you're an international student, you're coming to Australia, you are expected to study as well on campus, right? Because to study online, then I can study from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So once you have your enrollment already finalized, you will get an email with your student credentials, and you can log in, and you'll get details through an email basically, and you can just select subjects then. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. And I think they will find all of the information regarding the subjects enrolled in their portal, and you can see, like which subjects I have enrolled, and, timetables and everything related to the classes that we are taking on the trimester.
Exactly. The student has all the information you need. So like really you squeeze that website because it has everything you
need. Yeah. I think also we have some questions in the chat, like general questions regarding visas and how is it the timeline for visas outcome. So guys, regarding visa applications, that's something that it sits on the Department of Home Affairs. So normally they will take some time depending on the country that we are applying to. So it's always a good idea to refer to the website that we have also shared in the chat, and then to get more information, because it will depend on the country. So normally it will take from 2 weeks up to 5 or 6 weeks, depending on the country and also depending on the case. So we cannot really fast track the process of visas or, provide more information in visa applications per country. Always, it's a good idea to reach out to your agents and, to ask for some updates on the visas, and they will be able to provide general information about other processes that they are doing. So that will give you some lights in the, in your case. And I think we have some more questions in here. So how many months usually is your breaks where we can work full time? Okay, so for these questions, so we're going to have breaks in between of the trimesters at Torrens University. So you may have, like different, some weeks in between the trimesters, but normally towards the end of the year, after we finalize our November intake, we will have a bigger, break. So it will be towards the end of the year. Is it correct, Micaela?
Yeah, that's correct. I'll just share on the chat the link to the student hub where you can see all the dates for this year, for each trimester and each break. So you can check that in the link. I'll share that in 2 seconds.
Thank you. And also I can see here another question. It says, what's the difference between a main intake and a accelerated intake? Well, the difference is pretty much the time. So with main intakes, we may have, longer weeks to finalize the subjects. And with middle intakes, we will have a shorter time to finalize the subjects that we are enrolling within the same trimester. So that's the difference between all of them. At Torrens University, we have 6 intakes during the year. 3 of them are main intake and 3 of them are middle intakes. And also you can see all of the information about our intakes in here. So this is the link where you can see all of intakes information. And I think we have few more questions. So Nicholas is asking, how long does the student visa take? Well, as I said just before, it will depend on the country that we are applying to. We can't really say much about it. That will depend on the Department of Home Affairs, but normally these applications will vary between 2 weeks up to 5 weeks or more, depending on the case. So always reach out to your agent and they will be providing more information about it. So I have another question here. So can I still apply for my visa and fly to Australia without my COE? Unfortunately, no. As part of your visa requirements for application, you must submit your COE along with all of other documents. So the answer is no, you cannot apply and be in Australia without a COE. And regarding some IELTS conditions, that will depend on your the course that you would like to apply to. So also in our website, you can see all of the information regarding our programs inquiries. So that in here, in this link, you can see all of our programs, and in all of our programs, you will see also the IELTS requirement for each one of them. So please feel free to reach the website.
There's another question here that for those students that are already in Australia, they're saying orientation is required to attend. Yes. If I'm already in Australia, can I do virtual orientation instead of the face-to-face orientation on campus? Yes, that's okay. I can say that this person that brought that question is in Sydney. I will strongly suggest coming to campus. I mean, you will get the same information, but it's definitely more tangible if you can come to each campus and you actually get to see the facilities as well, and we get to know you as well, because I'm going to be here at the Ultima campus for orientation. So for us, it's great to know those new faces, new students, and if you have any questions, I'm also doing a session like this at orientation. There's also a session for international students that we review some of the things that I mentioned before and some other new things. So yeah, I mean, if you cannot make it at all and you have to attend virtual orientation, that's right. It's okay, no problems. You won't have issues with your visa if that's your concern. But yeah, my suggestion is, I cannot recommend enough to try and attend a campus orientation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think we have another questions around deferring, like if we cannot make it. So let's say that I have already submitted my visa, but I haven't received any answer yet from the department. So the answer is yes, you can defer your studies. So our next intake will be in April, which is T1B, and the following intake will be June. So we have a couple of options for those students that can't make it into Australia by February. And also very important, and I think we have mentioned it already in the chat, that we have extended our start date for February intake. So we still have a couple of weeks after the 19th of February. So we're going to be reaching out to all of you to inform about it. But yeah, let's say that, February passed and I haven't got my visa. What can I do? You can defer your course to the next intake available for your program. Okay, I think we have some other questions in here. So yeah, again, yes, you can change your intake if you're not able to make it into February intake. Okay, so how much time does it take after submission of GTE to get the COE? So it will depend also on case by case. So normally what we do and what our admissions team does is they would going to be checking in all of the documents. Depending on the case, we're going to be requesting more documents. In some cases, we can clear GTE, in a couple of days. In some other cases, that will take, like more time, depending on the case. So yeah, after we have cleared the GTE, then students can proceed with the payment. And as soon as the payment reach Australia, then we can issue COE in the next few days. So suggestion will be always be in contact with your agents, guys, because we're going to be providing, updates in each of them. Okay, so we have another question here. During our breaks, are we allowed to go home or to country and will not have problem in going back when schools, Michaela?
Yeah, I was about to answer that one. Yes, of course. During your break, you can, if you want to go home, if you want to work, like I mentioned before, as many hours as you want, it's a study break. As long as you're here for when the next study trimester starts again, that's all good. No problems at all. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay, so for intake, there will be any extensions. Yes, Joy, yeah, that's what we said. So we have extended our start date for our February intake. So we may have 1 or 2 weeks extra to receive the students in Australia. So if that's your case, my recommendation will be to contact your agent and explore that option. If you cannot make it for February intake, so then you will see, you can defer your studies for the next trimester, which is going to be in April, and the following one will be in June.
I can see a question from Mike Laura saying, most universities I know only have 2 semesters. What's the difference for a trimester setup? Great question. So like you said, semesters, most of universities, well, no, most of them, some of them, they organize a year, like 2 study periods, 6 months. The way Torrens University organizes the study periods throughout the year is 3 compulsory trimesters a year, and which is 3 months each trimester. And that allows you to complete 8 subjects a year, and is so each trimester is 12 weeks. So look, it's just a different way of just running the trimesters, the study periods. If you ask me, because I was a student as well, I prefer the trimester system. I feel like, it's easier to complete the 8 subjects a year rather than, just dragging along 4 subjects, like because it's called semester, but then you are actually not having 6 months because you have to have some kind of a holiday or a break. So it's about usually 4 months when you take out the holiday period. So in 4 months, you have to do 4 subjects. So I find it like easier this way to complete the 8 subjects a year. So it's just a different way of organizing the study period. I prefer it, honestly. So yeah.
Yes, and also on that, Michaela, I think one of the questions that I always get is, let's say, yeah, I have already paid for some subjects to get my COE, so then how I'm going to be paying my subjects when I am in Australia as In Torrens University, we work by trimester, so you're going to be making payments by trimester instead of the whole semester. So I think that may help, like our students in, some sense, because you're going to be paying the subjects that you're going to be enrolling. So it will be 3 subjects or 2 subjects for those trimesters at the end of the year. So that's also a bit of difference in that the way we pay.
It's really helpful. Really helpful.
Yeah, we have a question here. Instead of deferring my admissions, can I start my classes online from my home country before my visa is out? On that question, we used to have this model of allowing students to enroll one subject online, but as per just yet, we haven't got any confirmation for this trimester. For February intake, so you will be receiving confirmation about through your agent. So my recommendation is just contact your agent, and then we can check, on your case if we can offer that subject online. So and we have another question here. So I wrote my SOP, and I was told to refer on the highlighted parts what that does mean. So that's pretty much when we are assessing your SOP or the letter where we write down the, why are you choosing Australia? Why are you choosing Torrens University? And how this program will help you in your professional outcome. So our admissions teams, they will highlight or suggest, some extra ideas to put on that SOP. So my recommendation is just talk to your agent and go through the document that our admissions team or the advice that we have provided on that, and just add or explore more in those ideas and those points that we think you have to explain a little bit more on that. Okay.
Okay, there's a question as well of if there's any WhatsApp group to join as a new student. There's like I mentioned in the slides before, there's always events running throughout the trimester, and there's the Student Representative Council, which is the SRC, and they run in events, and sometimes based on your course, there are like Facebook groups, forums, and so it really depends on what you're studying. And so just wait until you start your course, and sometimes they have WhatsApp groups, sometimes they have Facebook groups. It depends really on the course. And if you really want to meet people, just always attend the events, go to uni. There's always things happening on the campus, so it's very lively. So that's my recommendation as a new student.
Yes. I have another question here, and it's what are the requirements for studying nursing at Torrens University? So that program will have, like all of the general requirements that other programs have, apart having IELTS in 7 and all bands in 7. So that's a very specific requirement for studying nursing, not only with us, but with the universities in Australia, as this course is regulated by APRA. So that's a requirement, for the government body who regulates the course in Australia. So general documents, all of the, like your academic documents, SOP, GTE, all of the general documents, plus having IELTS in 7 in all bands and overall. So for Shanja, this person is asking, like, is there any pickup service for the university that the university provides? Micaela?
Yes. Not specifically that the university arranges for the student. When you book your accommodation, if you like Amber's, like they mentioned before in the Amber students presentation, the accommodation, if there's a student accommodation, might be able to book some kind of pickup service for you. Otherwise, like I said on the slides, there's so many options from in every different city. So from public buses, train, metro, Uber, taxi, but not specifically that the university is going to be able to organize for you. Okay.
Yes, and I think that's very important what you mentioned, Michaela, because all of our campuses are located right in the heart of the city. So pretty easy accommodate public transport available. So in Australia, we have different, we have trams and we have the trains and also the buses. So it's pretty convenient for all of you to reach out to our campuses or to move between the cities. So it's very important to remind to everyone here that Australia is designed for international students. So it's pretty easy, to commute into, like studies or work or even, in the daily life. It's pretty easy to move in Australia and very safe environment as well for all international students. Okay, guys, I think we're running out of time right now. Michaela, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you so much, all of you, to be connected and for this very interactive session. As one of our colleagues was sharing, so this will be recorded in our website so that you will have, all of the recording from today's session. Also, you guys can connect and contact us on the emails that we share in the WhatsApp group. Not in the WhatsApp group, sorry, in the chat box. So please feel free to contact us and keep posted because we're gonna have, some other events coming up, online events to share more information to all of you. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you all very soon in Australia. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.